In 2008, Treyarch released a small passion project that they were working on as an Easter egg for anyone who completed the campaign for Call of Duty World at War. Little did they know, this little passion project would reappear 13 more times, would end up being probably the best mode in one of the games it was in, and almost ended up being its own standalone game at one point. What first started out as a fun game mode taking place in a tiny bunker with no end goal in sight turns into multiversal apocalyptic warfare with squid-looking things, and this. If you were a teenager in the early 2010s, chances are you spent many summer nights in the lobby with 3 of your buddies trying to get to the highest round possible, only for you to die before round 10. If you were a preteen in the early 2010s like myself, you definitely remember not playing zombies at night because it was too scary. Call of Duty had an absolute juggernaut on their hands, and for the first decade or so they did amazingly well with it. Fan support was at an all-time high, the reception to most maps were great, everything was going amazing for everyone in Treyarch. And then, it wasn't. Post Black Ops 3, zombies took a massive dive in popularity, with many people opting for Warzone or multiplayer rather than zombies, and before you knew it, the fanbase was incredibly apathetic towards zombies as a whole. So what happened? What led to this sudden shift in public opinion? Did interest just decline? Did Treyarch lose their touch? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. The meteoric rise and eventual fall of Call of Duty Zombies. For the sake of the video, I'm not going to be talking about the non-Treyarch zombie games. I don't exactly care for them, and I didn't really play all of them. I may mention them here and there, but for all intents and purposes, they aren't today's topic. I also won't be talking about the lore too much, because this video could easily get turned into like an 8-hour video if I do. I'll mention it here and there, but again, it's not today's topic. Real quick, before I begin, this is a completely new channel and my second video. Thank you guys so much for the support on the Arkham Asylum video. If you haven't watched it, you can check it out now. I'll be breaking down old and maybe even some new games and delivering video essays on them, so if you enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you want me to talk about a certain video game, let me know in the comments below. Without any further ado, let's get started. Zombies started off with an absolute bang in World at War, and kept this momentum going incredibly strong into Black Ops 1. The 4 original World at War maps, Nocturne Toten, Verrucht, Shino Numa, and Deriz were becoming so iconic, casual players that played multiplayer knew them. What helped was how hardcore and gritty the first 4 entries into the series were. Nocturne Toten was incredibly scary for anyone younger than 12 at the time. We didn't have the funny quips of Richtofen or Dempsey, nor do we have the lore that made us feel more in a sci-fi movie rather than a horror game. You spawned in as a regular US soldier who did not talk at all, with endless zombies coming at you from all corners, with zero escape or end in mind. If that didn't make enough people feel uncomfortable, they followed it up with Verrucht, an abandoned mental asylum. To this day, the scariest entry in the series, almost not even debatable. The Verrucht sprinters, the random screams of agony, the atmosphere. Treyarch was really aiming to make people shit their pants for a while until they chilled out in the later installments. The map also introduced perks, weird chemically engineered drinks that would grant the drinker some insane power, like more health, faster reload, faster sprint, and the ability to carry a third weapon. Zombies was expanding, and it was doing it very fast, because flash forward to Deriz, and what started out as a survival game with you, a gun, and a dream, now has teleportation, and a machine that would upgrade your gun, and some semblance of lore. The hunger for zombies was insatiable. Fans played it for hours and somehow still wanted more, which is why everyone was happy to know that zombies would be returning in Call of Duty Black Ops, coming out in 2010. Our first map in the new game ended up becoming the most iconic in the series, Kino der Toten, the Theater of the Dead. Fun fact, Kino was supposed to be in World at War and even had a chainsaw wonder weapon that would have been in the game before it was inevitably scrapped and repurposed for Black Ops. You were also able to unlock the map 5 and a weirdly unique experience in Dead Ops Arcade. At the time, the entire world was playing Kino, with 5 being considered the weaker map for being too hard. Growing up is realizing 5 is a top 10 map ever made, and nobody can change my mind on that. Treyarch followed this up with Ascension, Call of the Dead, which had a ridiculous cast for a video game, Shangri-La, and probably one of the most polarizing maps of all time, Moon. I personally hate Moon, but you know what redeems it? Blowing up the fucking planet. Treyarch had everything going for them. Fans still wanted more zombies, which is why once again, people were very happy to hear zombies would be returning again in Black Ops 2. I'm not going to spend too much time on this since there isn't a whole lot of information on this, but sometime around 2011 to 2012, Treyarch gave Raven Software permission to work on a standalone zombies game that wasn't a direct port of the zombies we had come to know. Raven's original plan for the game was a live service game, would have had players start the game in a gladiator arena, had a world map, and would have season passes. Raven Software definitely seemed ahead of the curve, as that sounds a lot like where gaming has ended up now. It wasn't long until Treyarch eventually revoked permission and had the game cancelled. I'm sure some of the features were eventually repurposed and reused. A gladiator arena sounds a lot like the map 9 from Black Ops 4. You know what's a good way to follow up blowing the fucking planet up? Playing a map with almost no visibility. Black Ops 2 Zombies got off to a rocky start with the release of Transit and Die Rise. I'm gonna be honest, I did enjoy Transit, but looking back at it, it was definitely very underwhelming. The concept of a bus driving you around the city was insane to think about at the time, but the fact that almost 70% of the map is covered in fog and lava, and the absolutely horrendous pack-a-punch mechanic in the game, you would understand why fans were a bit upset with the release. We were used to absolute banger maps, but this felt like Treyarch's first misstep during the zombie saga. We later come to find out that Treyarch was way too ambitious for their own good, and the map was severely limited by the retro consoles that they were on, which were the 360 and the PS3. Damn, the 360 is considered retro. Treyarch had to find a way to slow the player down long enough to give the consoles enough time to load up the rest of the map, which is why they created the inbreds. I mean the denizens. These homunculus looking motherfuckers would claw at your face, slowing you down because you had to knife, and eventually repeat the process about 10 seconds later. Yay. Also, there's a boss named Avocado. They immediately followed it up with Die Rise, a map that needed PhD, didn't have PhD, teased PhD, and then he died due to fall damage. What didn't help this rocky start, aside from the polarizing maps, was also the fact that we were given a new group of characters to play as. We didn't get Richtofen, Dempsey, Nikolai, or Takio. They're too busy being actual global terrorists. Instead, we got Misty, Rustman, Samuel, and Marlton, who basically, hear me out, is basically Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Who the fuck wants to be in an apocalypse with Sheldon? We didn't care about any of these characters. We weren't really given any reason to. Samuel was like mildly interesting because he was a schizophrenic, but we missed our homoerotic German. We missed our drunk Russian. We missed our true American patriot, Takio. Black Ops 2 also did have a pre-order bonus of Nuketown Zombies, which was cool and all, but until I mentioned it right now, did you even remember that it was a thing? They included fun game modes like Grief and Turned, which, not gonna lie, were pretty fun in local co-op, I can't lie. But the fanbase didn't want fun little game modes, they wanted something big, thick, juicy, to stick their fangs into. And Treyarch eventually listened, because the second half of this game, my god, they turned everything up to 100. Buried was very unique and the best Victus map by far. Mob of the Dead, also unique, and to many, the best zombies map of all time. You're literally playing in fucking Alcatraz Island. There's a wolf head on the wall. Who fucking cares? We're in Alcatraz Island. There's a Tomahawk Wonder Weapon. Cool, I get to use it in Alcatraz Island. Oh, you can build the plane, escape, crash onto the Golden Gate Bridge, and pack a punch. The Golden Gate Bridge? That's awesome. Hey, let's go back to fucking Alcatraz Island. This map somehow screamed aura. I don't know how. What do they follow that up with? Goddamn Origins. In my personal opinion, the best zombies map to ever exist. Big robot. Stabs that harness all the elements. Fucking Avenged Sevenfold. It was like someone went to each of the devs over at Treyarch and injected bull testosterone into every single one of them. Black Ops 2 started on a whimper and ended with a bang so loud, it almost rivaled the sound of me clapping your mother's cheeks. There was no way zombies was gonna somehow get better. But then... it fucking did. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna relax with the cuss words, but zombies from 2014 to 2016 felt like the equivalent of riding a velociraptor, drinking a white monster, and blasting 3 Days Grace while you steal the Declaration of Independence. Black Ops 3 is almost unanimously considered the golden age of Call of Duty Zombies. We got 5 maps, with 2 of them being in contention for the GOAT. And then we got 8 of our favorite childhood maps remastered because we were good boys that Christmas. Treyarch started off with a bang with Shadows of Evil, personally, my second best map of all time. Bugs. Meatballs. Squids. Giant squid. Squid gun. Squid in the sky. Squid mystery box. And also that soundtrack. I'm not even reading off a script anymore, this is straight passion on the mic. How do they follow that up? A fucking medieval castle where you can get bows that make the stabs look like BB guns. Der Eisendrache is in contention for the greatest map of all time, and I understand why. The map was perfect. You can launch a rocket. You had the gravity spikes. You had the bows. You had the lightning bow specifically. Hey, the wolves from Alcatraz Island are back. I don't care. I have a bow that shoots lightning. Der Eisendrache was literally insanely peak. I actually remember one time school was canceled because we were snowed in, and me and my buddy played the Rise and Track literally the entire school day from 8 to like 2:45. And then you had Zetsubo, which honestly wasn't my cup of tea, but still a very strong map. Granted, you needed, a small loan of $1 million to get started on the map, but aside from that, you had spiders, that's pretty cool. You had a side boss, which was, I think, the first of its kind at the time. And then you get basically like a reskinned Soliquifier. And then you got Gorod. Fucking Gorod. Hey, you know that really cool submachine gun that was basically an LMG? Here you go. Hey, you remember Nikolai, the drunken dude? Here you go. Oh, also, you can ride fucking dragons in this map. Revelations. That's all I gotta say. I really didn't enjoy Revelations. Treyarch did also change the formula of the game a lot. Instead of 2 hits, it was 3 hits, which actually felt a lot better. The dolphin dive was gone, you could slide, but that was more of a Call of Duty thing, not really a zombies thing. Gobblegums were, in my opinion, an amazing addition to the game. Sure, they broke the game, but you didn't have to use them. You could literally play a game without them. Personally, me, I was a gobbleaholic. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. My first financial aid check, I spent on Gobblegums. I'll be honest, I don't know if the government's listening, I'm sure they are. Hi. After tuition, I got about $2,100 left. I spent all of that on Gobblegums. And to this day, I'm still saving them because I might need them later. Black Ops 3 was the golden age. These 5 maps alone made it the best zombies game, in Call of Duty terms at least. And then 2 years later, the game's supposed to be dead. They released Zombies Chronicles. They remaster 8 zombies maps from our past. For a lot of people, actually improve a lot of the maps. Some of them kind of got a downgrade, but they improve a lot of the maps, like Moon, which was completely gray and now it has color. Take it from me, I'm actually colorblind and I can see the difference. It seemed like Treyarch was about to get that Icarus syndrome where it was flying too close to the sun. They were doing too well. It was way too peak that it couldn't be sustained. And that's exactly what happened. And this is where we get to the downfall of Call of Duty Zombies. Black Ops 4 came out in 2018, and it was one of the weirder Call of Duties. They kind of changed up their style. The multiplayer felt more like they were trying to go for like Siege. They introduced Blackout, which was a battle royale because everyone had a battle royale at the time. They straight up ditched campaign. They were like, hey, you don't need any of that. Just forget about it. And then they kind of just threw zombies on there. You remember that? You remember the kind of underwhelming end we got for Revelations? Hey, let's like redo all that. Let's run it back. And also let's include a storyline that's completely irrelevant to the other storyline that we've been knowing for like 11 years at this point. To be fair, when they did announce the first couple of maps, the fucking Titanic, and a return to Mob of the Dead, everyone, including myself, hyped. It seemed like Peak was just gonna keep continuing, and then we played the game. The way the game played just felt clunky. I'll just stick to Zombies alone, but Zombies felt like it was put together at the last second. And to be fair, the launch map 9 was actually very good, but the Titanic map was really underwhelming. The game really just lost its personality. Like, they didn't continue Zombies to continue Zombies, they continued Zombies to make more money. And that's exactly where the downfall begins, because I'm pretty sure this game is where everyone started ditching Zombies. They got rid of everything we loved about it. The iconic perks that we had come to love, like Juggernog, Stamina Up, Double Tap, gone. Instead, here's like 30 micro perks that you can, tinker with here and there and enhance your gaming experience. It didn't. It seemed slowly Zombies was losing its personality, and it really didn't get any better. Black Ops Cold War came out, and at first it did seem like they were returning to form a bit. The only thing was the zombies that we had come to love was for sure gone. It was not coming back. The zombies played more like Warzone. You had armor plates now. It took like 1 million hits to die, whereas back in the day it took 2. I'll be honest, Die Machine was a good launch map. Anything after that? Not really. Mauer de Toten was passable, but it just wasn't there anymore. The personality that Zombies used to have, it just wasn't there anymore. Back then, every map, like Kino der Toten, maps like Verrucht, even the bigger maps like Origins, every map had a personality. But now it's just random facilities that are abandoned. They started a storyline that honestly no one really got into. To this day, I don't know anyone talking about Weaver and whatever the hell else is going on. Granted, it was still fun to play, but it just lacked the it factor. And then we get Black Ops 6 Zombies, which, to be fair, the first 2 maps, pretty good. Liberty Balls, good. Terminus, pretty good. And now we have Black Ops 7, and I'm going to be completely honest, this is kind of where the video is going to slowly end because I did not play Black Ops 7, and I don't intend to. Anyways, that's all I have for today. The rise and fall of Call of Duty Zombies. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you agreed or disagreed. Let me know any games that you might want me to cover later in the future. If you did enjoy the video, a like and a subscribe would be amazing. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.